Love languages. We're going to talk about love languages this evening, folks. Hey, what's up, Jessi? How you doing? You seem relaxed. Is this how we start off love languages? All right, this is the fire of marriage. So we're going to talk about the fire of marriage. I bring intensity to it. I heat it up. Jessi cools it down. But in every marriage is different, right? You know, some marriages you got two fiery people, and some marriages you got two that are just easygoing, laid back.
I'm laid back.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You're not.
I know, you're laid back. I'm laid back in some ways more than you.
No.
You don't think so?
In no way are you laid back.
What? I am so I'm cool to the core.
You put on a good front for everybody. Everybody thinks you're so easygoing, but you're not.
Because I stay in the background. I'm a background. I'm an extra in a Friends episode. You know, I'm just in the background, just doing my thing, doing my thing.
Different.
I am. How am I different, Jessi?
Very opinionated.
I think everybody's opinionated. Everybody's got an opinion. But why you see? Okay, we're starting off. This is about love languages, and it seems like you're already about like disgust. You're like
disgust.
Is that a strong word? Is that too?
Yeah.
I guess I just say it how I see it sometimes. I guess this is the green room. You're seeing a little bit what is it happening in the green room of our life. You know, sometimes it gets heated. I think every marriage. I don't want to just sugarcoat it and just make it seem like it's lovey-dovey, you know? It's so good. Everything's always fantastic. But I think some people step into marriage, and that's why they want to test drive things. They want to, let's test drive this out. Can we stand each other? Could we live together before we get married so that we know that we are compatible, that we're not going to want to kill each other? But what do you think about that?
It's just another one of these things where most of the people are going to think one way. Oh, you're not living together yet? Oh, that's so great. You're living together. I just don't think so. But just from the Christian worldview, it's just not really something we do. Some people do, I guess. But.
Yeah. I mean, growing up and before I became a Christian, that wouldn't have crossed my mind. I thought it was like it's obvious that people live together. You know,
even when you were growing.
I mean, you grow up with Friends. The Friends episode, like it's all true. Like everything is. That's what we were indoctrinated with. Is Hollywood is just makes it so. That's the normal thing to do. He gave me a key to his
right. It's the next step in our relationship.
It's the next step, and that's how a lot of things start off. You know, and I mean, people are where they are and where they're at. So I mean, you just I guess whatever your situation you're in, whatever circumstance of life you're in, you're there. You have your own decisions. Everybody's a big boy, big girl. They can choose what they want to do. But from a Christian perspective, I mean, I guess can people that are Christians live together? They're not married. Can they live together? You know. Or is it their conscience before them and God? Is that it? Or what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, who are you to say anything, you know?
Somebody like, I think, does it give a good impression to the rest of the world though? I guess that is your conscience. What your conscience, how you feel, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess just the way we were brought up, it was like, it's, you know, that's what the Bible says, and it's not a good idea. Just don't do it.
I mean, does the Bible say that though?
Keep the marriage bed pure, I guess.
But I mean, you're not married. I'm talking about people that aren't married.
Well, it's what the acts are that they're doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, from a outside perspective, an outside happenstance guy just walking by that has nothing to do with church or anything like that, just to kind of think about it, you know. If they see Christians talking about this, you know, and like, why would they want to join that club if there are these kind of limitations put on my life by joining that club? Why, like, how can we put this in a good way? Why would there be a reason to not move in together before you got married?
I've always heard like people say, well, I want to make sure I'm committed when I'm married. I'll just, you know, test drive, you know, and then, but really it's not. Like, if you really love this person, it doesn't matter how they not make the bed or throw their clothes on the floor or something. That's a level not very committed. But.
I mean, what do you like? pet peeves. I mean, you're not going to find out about a person unless you live together with them. You're not going to see what they actually are like until you're living with them, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to, like, if they squeeze the toothpaste from the middle or from the end, or if they roll it up, do they leave the toothpaste out and not put the lid back on?
I mean, people always say that about the toothpaste and stuff. It's like, who cares? I think it's like it's bigger things. Like when we got married, I was like, there's whole sides of your personality that came out. Same with me, I'm sure, you know, you put on but I've also heard people who live together for a long time before getting married. They're like, let's get married. And then, oh, nothing will change. And it still changes.
Like what?
Like they turn meaner, not kind of meaner.
When they're
married, because they're like, okay, got them locked in. I can be who I really am or something. I don't know.
And it's like you want to see that in advance. So people that,
but they don't. Even if you do live together, you still keep that part of you under wraps until you lock them in or something.
I would say, yeah, you do. That like if people were, because you're not bought and sold, paid for, all that, you know, it's not done deal. You know, you have a way to walk out, and until you
and they both know that, and so they're gonna hide some stuff.
Oh yeah. You're not gonna be your full self. But maybe people are. They're able to be. Like, I guess that's just like everybody's different, you know. And we're coming at it from a Christian perspective, you know, just kind of basically talking it out, airing it out, like. Because I'm seeing it from how I would before I became a Christian, and now, like, I'm just thinking about it. Is there freedom as Christians to live together if you're not married? Do we have to have a hard stance on this, or is there some gray area? Is there some gray area?
I mean, that's why I don't like some of these tough questions. Like, I personally think this, but you can do whatever you want out there. You know, who am I to say, you know?
Because, like, nobody in the church doesn't have anything over anybody, you know, like, and if we make ourselves all about, this is what you don't do, you got to be good, you got to be a good person, you got to be doing things that are in line with just being pure and being pure to the max, so that everyone else out there sees that you're perfect, and put on a front, put on a face, you know, a costume that you wear every day. Yeah. There was a new movie that came out. I wish I know the name, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there that know about it. But it's all about, like, I think maybe it's a show, Ben Stiller. It's a show that he does, and it's like that we spend half of our lives just in a costume, in a disguise. We go to work, and from that 9 to 5, that we are all we're just hiding it from the rest of the world. We're not who we truly are with anybody, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, as Christians, can we really be real? Because it's like we are having to kind of hold stuff back. Like we are not able to just be free reign and let everything out that we might want to in our desires. We might want to be a Christian and live with somebody before we're married. We might want to have that, you know?
I mean, I want to have a whole pan of brownies, but it just might not be the best thing for you, you know? Mm-hmm. Just...
And most people don't think about this. I'm just thinking of it because it's completely countercultural. All of America, in the United States, Hollywood, everything, it's all about, like, marriage doesn't matter. Marriage is a thing that is a relic of the past. It's the things that, like, the patriarchy, it's cavemen, you know, like, that we still, like, just glamorize and esteem this thing that is just the church or the government saying we recognize that you are a couple, as opposed to, you know, like, as Christians, I mean, like, do we have free reign just to do whatever we want, you know? Like, or do, you know what I mean? Do Christians, like, are we, because it says, Paul says, to the pure, all things are pure, but those are unholy, you know, nothing is pure. Those who are not, so it's like, if you're a Christian, I this is where I kind of bounce back and forth. Like, Christian, they're in Christ. I think we, like, as all Christians, we still got things to work out. We still got things that Jesus is not going to make us instantly Jesus in a second. I
think when you become a Christian, you want to do the right things, or what things that Jesus did, or that he'd be happy with you doing. We still mess up, but I think we just don't really want to mess up. If that makes sense. We don't actively go out searching for something to, you know.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, Jessi? Explain it. Explain yourself.
Like some people that they call themselves a Christian for fire insurance. They're like, I'm a Christian now. I can just do whatever I want. But like, if I die, I'm still saved. I'll go to heaven. Maybe and maybe they will be. But I just seems like the wrong attitude.
And I mean, just even talking about this, like anything when you start talking about what quote unquote sin or wrong, it is just like you are putting yourselves in a judgy attitude as opposed to like, I'm not looking or thinking about anybody, any actual person, I'm just thinking about the situation that we are in as Americans, as just people in general, that we've made it like, that's the next step. That's the normal behavior because of everything, like all sitcoms, all shows out there, all influencers, more than likely the normal thing is you go and you shack up with someone, and that's what you do. You shack up with someone, and because you're together, you love each other, you're in love, and I'm just thinking about like me growing up, that was what was poured upon me and was just drenched in my brain growing up, that this is like, that's the standard, that's the normal reality, as opposed to people don't see a biblical worldview because it's hidden. It's hidden in the church walls. It's hidden in the Bible. And it's like the Bible itself doesn't line out everything. It doesn't say thou shalt not shack up with someone, but it does say like to stay away from sexual immorality. And that does have a lot of just that covers a lot, just that one phrase.
Yeah.
And the Bible does lay out what those things mean. But
do you remember your parents ever talking at like, this is what the world says, but this is what we do? Or,
I mean, not too much, really. I mean,
because by the time, a lot of things, you weren't a Christian until you were like 20.
Until I was 20, yeah.
So, I mean, they might have said something, but it was still might have just not really penetrated.
Yeah. For me, going to church was just a feel-good thing.
You did like going?
Just to feel good. Like I would feel good after I went to church. I would feel like I did what I was supposed to do. Probably.
Like a check it off type thing. Good for me. I went to church.
I just thought it's what you're supposed to do. It's the right thing, and you don't, you're not doing what you're supposed to do unless you go. But I mean, that goes both ways because I mean, when I got to high school, I just completely stopped going.
How did your parents react to that? How did you just not go?
I don't know. I think it was when I started driving. I just stopped. When I was able to drive, I just stopped going, and they were still going. And I think I always heard like Zach. My mom was always like, would say Zach was mad because they didn't make me go all the time, but they made him go. And it's like, making someone go to church. But it's like I think you should for your kids. You want to kind of instill them in right values or right.
I guess it was never
a question for you all.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess I was a Christian when I was in 7, so I kind of maybe wanted to go, but I mean, I had friends there and stuff too. But it was never a question of, are you going to church, honey, today? It was get your butt in the car, even if we are 18 or 20.
But would they actually say that, or was you?
No,
you probably
just
did it.
You just did it. That's what you did. You go to church on Sundays and Wednesdays and Sunday nights.
Yeah. And I've went back and forth about this, like the going to church kind of thing. It's like that's the like big thing, and if people, and I don't feel like that. I don't feel like we make it seem like if you're not going to church, you're not saved, or you're not in a right relationship with Jesus. Yeah. Whereas a lot of people are in a right relationship with Jesus, but they're not being maybe all that they can be for God's kingdom. They might just be in a season of life, Yeah. Something that really stuck with me was, and because for the longest time we were going to church, us when we were married, and we weren't members of a church. And what kicked it into gear and to drive and change my whole philosophy, my whole like thought pattern or whatever, what I thought about it was R.C. Sproul. Listening to him, and he brought up about being a member of a church. Actually being a member of a church. And then that was like probably the next Sunday we went forward to become members. Like I probably brought it up to you, like, let's do this or whatever. But I was always like, why do I need to join a club? Why do I need to
tell me and us what did he say about being a member?
What he said? he probably just made it seem like if you're not a member of a church or something. I don't even know what. RC,
you were reprimanded.
I guess I had a tug by the Holy Spirit through R.C. Sproul, and him, like, there's people that you just mad respect, And
He's one of them.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and I'm sure you have them as well. People in your life that you just,
Oh yeah.
if they said something, you'd be on the next train over to do it immediately, just because you value their opinion so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you can have that like sway on someone, that influence on someone, I mean, that itself, don't take it for granted that, like, because there's probably people like in your life that people really value your opinion. You never know.
Yeah.
I really value your opinion.
Oh, I value your opinion.
Well, Jessi, you know that, like, for a lot of our marriage, I haven't been able to think straight in a lot of ways, and I'm always like, I would come to you, so you're a level head. You're a level head, and I was always a hot head, and a lot of it is just like the blood just fills your brain. That's how I see it. I see it as inflammation. Blood fills your brain. Blood fills your eyes. You can't think straight. And it's like whenever you get in a defensive posture or you're upset, it's just like, and just having regular conversations with anybody. If someone says something that just kind of just makes you upset, you're not going to think straight anymore. You're going to be, until you can almost calm down in your spirit, you can't think straight, and you can't communicate or talk through anything.
Mm-hmm. I have that at school sometimes. The kids make me so mad. And then even today, I closed my eyes and I actually did this and I said, please give me patience. And the kids are like, oh my gosh, she's praying because we're so bad. And then they don't say that, but then they shush.
Well, that's good. I mean, you're like, they know where you stand. They know where you stand. I remember you told me that one of your kids said that it was so... he loved your class because you play Christian music. Yeah. Which is cool. I would love your class too, Jessi. And that's not every kid's like that. Not every kid has that already in them to be aware of Christian music, and understand the difference, and really respect it and really value it like that. So
that's why I like that kid.
So
Bonnie, you know who it is. Don't say his name though.
We got Bonnie back, everyone. We have Bonnie back. She is in the building. Bonnie, you want to show yourself, or have you already shown yourself? We got Bonnie in the building. She was gone last week. She was traveling. She was, out on the road, doing her thing. But we got her back. What?
Probably spend the night or something. Back to the church thing. You know how like we normally go to Sunday school and then we go to church. And sometimes we sleep in, or someone's, not feeling good. So we go to just one, or sometimes not at all. Do you feel like, like I'm being bad? Like I miss
by not
Sunday
going to
school.
Church?
Yeah, I do sometimes. Like what if my mom finds out?
I don't feel right. I feel a lot better even now if I go to church.
Yeah.
If I like it, and I do feel off if I don't. But I'm not like where I feel terrible if I miss church at all.
Yeah, I don't either. It's almost freeing in a way, but I find that when I don't go to one or both, like I miss it, But.
And I've went back and forth. I mean, there's been times where like I've definitely just went to church to go through the motions and just to check off the box, and I do not at all feel it. And a lot of times, really, I mean, we go to church every time. I absolutely love our church. But a lot of times I don't feel it, and I don't feel like deep connection there or anything like that. That like I do feel a sense of like you feel good being around the people of God, but it's still even in the kingdom of God. There's like people that are like just personal relationships. They're great at that thing, and not everybody is, So how some people. It's tough unless you have a buddy to go with, and like that's why it's somebody that's not married. Like even like before we were married, you were going to your church, your parents, and I was going to mine. Like I was going by myself, and it's like it's like you feel like that call, like I need to go to church, and I would feel off if I didn't. But it's like if you don't have somebody you're going with, which it could be the huge power of inviting someone, Yeah,
and that's probably why like. A lot of my Christian, not a lot of my Christian, but my single Christian friends are like, no one is single at church. They're probably, nobody wants to go alone. Like, okay. But I'm sure there are, but maybe it's tough. Yeah. To go alone.
I just like they don't really have why like this is I'm just thinking this on the spot like why like don't we do ever like socials of like to get together with do they ever do something like that like of a guys and girls or is it just kind of just like assumed and you go to these things to try to like meet people that are compatible and
I mean I think there are but like sometimes there just isn't
They
the people to do it like hey let's have a social with the one girl we have or something you know if they have the people for it they probably do.
And maybe is that a weird thing I was even like thinking about like because like
to me it kind of does. It's like hey we're gonna have a social with all of the single people and they're like looking at everyone oh you know are they gonna get together awkward.
Yeah it is really awkward. I mean to me it's like I just the American Christianity the way that we like do church it's not the way that I would pick and choose to do church. Like it is so much more and this goes across like all parts of the world you know it has made guys not be as manly men as possible. It is more geared towards women, and that's across cultures. Like people outside of the United States, there will be cultures that like the men are out there working and the women are in church. The women are in church and the guys are out there doing their thing. You know, because it is a weird deal. You know that, but it doesn't need to be that. Like, can we bring that hardcore masculine? I just think of a lot of times we're in church and we're just standing there. You feel it's awesome doing worship songs and all that, but it does feel weird. Like you see a manly man, and we're singing this song to like at a screen, you know, as opposed to I don't know. It doesn't sometimes fit with what I would think. Like
a guy
guys would want to do
naturally want to do.
Guys want to go blow stuff up and shoot things, you know, and like and fight and actually fight. Like literally, I mean, I'm not even joking. Guys want to fight because you have it in you. Like we were born for war, we were born for battle, and like that's not like, and we're sitting at home with Martha Stewart things and cooking and things that are IKEA and trying to make our houses look nice and paint the walls and paint the shutters and all this junk. It's stupid junk.
Fantastic to me.
It's yeah. See, it's to you, but not to me. And I don't think a lot of guys would think it's.
Did you like cutting down the trees last week?
We cut down trees.
Yeah, you and Bonnie.
Oh, when I was out there doing that, yeah. That chainsaw. It was a little. It was just a little chainsaw. It was still a little chain, but it was like it got her done. And I'm doing like yes, that's like that kind of stuff. Like just get together with guys. What?
We got a message. Lol.
Let's go.
Is that what it? Cole, hey man, let's go. All right, yeah. It's like because guys want to be men, and guys want to fight. Guys want to watch football and you know and play football, you know, and just duke it out, you know, and you know guys don't really want to be there holding hands and singing Kumbaya. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's
but
like
what's the you know how like men say like what meekness is? It's like a big powerful stallion who allows himself controlled power. Is that kind of the same thing?
Exactly. Yeah, I would say yeah. I always criticize, and I feel like in my heart, I try not to do it openly. You know, even though I'm doing it openly now, it's just like of criticizing how we do church, and just because it just seems like it's so just the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over as a like. And I know like, and I'm not. It's like I'm not offering anything better. So it's like, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't fit. Like it doesn't. And you can have events to go to, and it's like, for me, it's just tough, you know, to go to certain events. I like that's why I've really struggled with it. And I told you like life together. I think it's just American Christianity in general. We are all just little embers on our own kind of thing, where everybody is a Lone Ranger Christian. It feels like, and it's not the truth for everyone, but if you are a Lone Ranger Christian, you feel it, and it feels like
I mean, I have a couple friends that I can connect with, but they're Christians, but they're not at church. But it seems like the girls that are at church, it seems like, and maybe it's just in my head, but I don't think it is, they're all getting together outside of church without me, which is fine, you know, but it seems like they have the same people outside as an inside, so they seem,
Uh-huh.
more tight. I
Yeah.
have my people, but they're just not the same people as church as outside,
Yeah.
which is fine, but just kind of makes you feel like a loner.
Yeah. Just relationships in general. I mean, for anybody, or I think, do you feel like you have trouble ever with that, or do you think?
I mean, I can connect fairly okay, but I just not as deeply as what I can see other people are,
But do you think sometimes it's just we just imagine that they do have it all, like it is like that, as opposed to it really is? Do you think sometimes we think that they got it, like
Maybe.
but like I think it's probably both and sometimes that and sometimes not.
I mean, it's like, who has the time? I have no time.
Yeah.
I mean,
It feels like, yeah.
when do we have time to do anything?
And then it's like it's like you can have that extrovert feeling, like I really, and then you're like, you regret like signing up for anything when you actually come down to it. You're like,
Yeah. Oh crap! Now's the day. I gotta go do this.
and you're really an introvert at heart, but then you have flare ups of extrovertness, that just kind of come out, and
we're a mess.
yes, and finding somebody you relate to, it's like it's hard to really connect with somebody, because it's like I can think about people in my life and who I actually feel connected with immediately, like who I actually have a connection with, as opposed to it's uncomfortable. I'm awkward. They're awkward. We're both awkward. It's this small talk city. It's all.
You hate that.
I hate freaking small talk, but it's like I can't say it. I can't say it like in the short 5 seconds that we have with somebody. It's like.
But we've gone over this again. You don't have to do small talk. If they say, "How's it going?" you don't have to say good. You can say, "It went terrible. I got this and this and this going on," but you don't.
But that's hard. That's the hard thing.
Then you can't hate small talk if you won't get out of it.
But then you'll think that they don't care. They're not really into it. You feel like that they don't want to have any share in your life. They don't care what I
think you would be surprised. Who would be?
I know you feel like that.
It would be refreshing to be like, oh, finally, someone who doesn't say fine or what are you doing? Nothing. Like, just say what you're doing, or
but then
say
a
what's
lot
going
of times,
on.
like I feel like I would probably be like, I just want to get back to my desk or get back to my car and not actually spend any time talking with them. I want to. I mean, a perfect example. The grocery store. You don't want to run into anyone. You don't want to make eye contact with anyone. And everybody feels like that, but then sometimes you do have a feeling where you do want to chit chat, like so. And it's like it's never the same. It's never consistent. It's never always the same thing. Sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you just want to get your stuff and go.
But it's like you might be feeling like that day, and then somebody else has the jitters. They want to talk, and then sometimes you want to talk, and they just want to go. They don't want, and it's just this awkward and God
awkward
forbid
dance.
And God forbid you run into somebody 2 times in the store.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Oh my! Run into like.
That's why I always say, I'll see you around the aisles.
Is that what you say?
Yep. And then there we go again.
Yeah.
I almost want to leave
But
I don't see him again.
We're the opposite. I don't talk to anyone, and you talk to everyone, even the people that you say I don't want to talk to them. You still say something to them, and I'm like, why the heck did you say something to them?
Because they see me. I'm walking right past them. It would be rude. I mean, they know I see him. I know they see me. It's
why
weird.
do you think I think you think that they think
Stop.
that they see you, but they don't see you. They don't.
I gotta make sure.
And they don't want to see you. You don't, just as much as they don't want you to see them, they don't want to see you. This
People
is like,
want to see me. No,
we are just like, is anyone else like out there like this? Like, we're just so weird. Like, everything is so weird because you're never the same person. You're never the same feeling. You might feel one way at one point, and you might feel like another way at a different point, and nothing's ever. I guess let's transition this into love languages. What did you find? What did you find out about love languages? And let's maybe switch away from the church talk. Let's switch away from the grocery store talk and all these weird, like, kind of things, idiosyncrasies that we
out
have
there, and just more in here.
Yes, and for a couple, and I want to approach this not just at marriage, but at a couple in general. What are the love languages that you have read about? And who was the guy that you talked about that you?
Gary Chapman wrote this book, The 5 Love Languages, and I think he is a Christian, so it's coming at it from that kind of worldview, but
Or what are they? Lay them on me. And then you all be thinking of what are your love languages? Jesse's going to lay them out. So kind of take it slow.
Okay. Words of affirmation. Now, okay.
Give us as much detail. Give us commentary. I'm just chugging along.
All right. Affirmation. Oh, no, I can't find it.
Well, you're on the hot seat, Jesse.
Okay,
Talk.
affirmation. It's compliments. It's you did this really good. You look really nice, and oh, I love how you do that. And like the words make you feel good, build you up.
Okay. We should maybe do that. Like I'll say, don't say right now. Let's go through them, and then I'll say what I think yours is, and then I'll say, and you say what you think mine is, and then we'll disclose. We'll uncover what the truth is, what our true love language is.
Okay.
What do you got, Jesse?
All right. And then quality time, receiving undivided attention, spending time without distractions, phones down, like just talking. Physical touch.
This is 3.
1, 2, 3. Yes. Feeling appreciated by physical acts of affection, kissing, cuddling, holding hands. Receiving gifts is number 4. Just any thoughtful gift, small or large. Feeling through thoughtful gifts rather than the gift itself. Okay. And then the 5th is acts of service through tasks or thoughtful gestures, such as doing something for you without being asked.
Okay. And there can be kind of what are those Venn diagrams? Some cover more than others.
Yeah.
But like so it's not one but you do have your primary one. Let's go through what is our primary. Like don't say what yours is. I'll say what I think yours is, and you can say what you think mine is.
Okay. I'll tell you what mine's definitely not.
No, you can't do that.
What?
It's unfair.
Oh,
I'm gonna guess what yours is.
okay, fine. Okay, go.
All right, this is 15 years. 15 years marriage.
Wait.
Coming up on our 16th this May.
Okay.
What?
I got mine. Are you going to guess it?
You got mine?
I have yours.
You're thinking of what yours is?
I was thinking of what mine was, making sure I knew what mine was.
Oh, we should have done like numbered which one
there's quizzes you can do, which I tried to do 2 of them, but then it ended up having to put my credit card in or something, so I didn't do it. I went through the whole dang thing, and then it wanted me to pay for it.
But you got to see the question. But you got to see the questions.
Yeah.
I guess that didn't help. But okay, so I'll guess yours first. I think yours is number 5, acts of service.
Yes. Ding ding ding.
Oh, oh my God.
Yours is number 1, words of affirmation.
Absolutely not. I would maybe say that maybe the second one, but not the first. Are you kidding me? I mean, I like to be praised.
I need to be praised.
Mine would be the touch. Why? Well, so you missed out. You missed out. What?
I mean, everybody.
You're telling me what my love language is?
Yes, I am.
No. See,
because
what the heck? This is how it is. This is how it is.
Because you're always like, I did this, or like kind of like, aren't you glad I did this? And I'm like, oh yeah, good job. Like you need to hear that. I mean, I everybody wants to
maybe, but it's, that's not my love language. That sounds like a dictator. Am I a dictator? Jesse, what the heck?
Why would you think a dictator?
You praise me. You praise me. I'm Kim Jong-un.
That. No, it's not like that.
I guess I am kind of turning to this kind of dark.
It's compliments and encouragement. Like, oh, like notice what you've done and just appreciate.
Yeah.
That.
But I would just say, that's not me. I would say love language, but that might be like love language. So I got yours, but you did not get mine. But you still, would you have got love language second, or would you have guessed that second, or not love language, physical touch or whatever?
I mean, yeah. And see, guys always think that's their main one, but it's physical touch. But it's not.
What do you mean? I don't think guys are really thinking about this at all. Guys are not thinking about this at all.
When guys are forced to think about it, that's one they would automatically pick. But it's not always that.
See, your lady tells you how you should think, right? Is that what it is?
This is what I've observed. I'm like a scientist. I know what yours is.
Do you know me better than I know me? And
yes.
Or wait, do you know me better, or do I know you better?
I know you better.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Did you have something, Bonnie?
Yeah. Someone else said you have your stream as.
Oh no, I think that's just a bot. I think that's just a bot. It's probably just like sometimes they respond. They respond. Oh, is that or is somebody actually saying it? I can't. Oh, maybe it is Dallas Prophet. Yeah. Oh shoot. Yeah, I probably didn't update it. Yeah, I will be doing Fortnite in a little bit though. I will be doing Fortnite in a little bit. So we're gonna cut to that. What, Jesse?
Almost 10. That goes by so fast.
Well, Jesse, did you have anything else that you wanted to tell me that I should be doing? I guess I wanted to really actually, before we bounce off, I wanted to talk about like couples and marriage. We got to give some good advice, golden wisdom pearls, things.
Well, this is a good place to start because most of the time the couples have different ones and they give love the way they receive love. So I try to do acts of service all day to you and it just bounces. Not.
I say I immediately go like I'm a terrible person. I know. I immediately I'm like you do. In general,
people love the way they receive love.
Mm-hmm.
And it just bounces off them. They don't receive it that way.
I immediately right when you said you like I am overly critical. I know. I just I don't see things like that. Because I don't want to be like a person that I require access or service as my love language. I don't want that. I want to be a person that like I feel intimacy when touching, feeling close to you, even more so than just like words, and it's like when we're like, if you're not touching or whatever, like I do, like you just feel off, I don't feel close to you,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. It's tough. And I think like me having, the love that I feel like probably the same way that you should have the why don't you touch me? Why don't you kind of like why is it that I feel so much about like touching but you don't kind of thing sometimes?
Well, I do like earlier on I thought it was, but then I don't know, just certain things just seem.
I'm just thinking about Doug Heffernan. He does it.
Does he normally let you touch? Or
my wife won't let me touch her. Does she normally?
Oh, I don't know. It just seems like when you do certain things, like to take something off my plate, it's like, thank you.
I know. I like, and I try to.
It's not that I don't like that, or even gifts or whatever. Like all these things are good. As I'm going through this quiz, I'm like, I like them both.
I'd say gifts is like really low for you.
Yeah.
Get like even getting you flowers, like you don't seem like you appreciate it. You don't like it as much. You feel like you don't love it. Like.
Because I don't go over and above and say thank you, it's so beautiful, and compliment. That's the words of affirmation I think you are. Maybe
that is a little bit, but I don't. That's not my love language. I'm not going to claim that as my love language. My love language is touch. I don't think you're going to be set in one way or the other. You're forever. This is my love language. When you're like, because when you're just dating someone, I mean, you're interviewing. You're getting to know them. And marriage is just a whole other game. It's different than just going out on a date and spending some time together, Like, but it's like, do you think you should be, if you're dating someone, you're just a couple or whatever right now, should you be like, both of you be going towards marriage? Or is it just, you're playing the field, you're learning what different people are like, and you're just having fun? Like, And is it a guy girl thing, or one wired more so than the other, or is it?
Well, it depends on like I dated in high school, like when I was 15. Like, what's the point of that? Am I going towards marriage at 15?
Yeah, that's true.
No, maybe it's just like,
yeah, that's true.
Maybe just like testing other people's personalities and like how he should be treated and stuff.
That's a good point. Like, because like people are gonna have boyfriends and girlfriends in sometimes middle school.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah,
you're not going towards marriage. Yeah. I guess that is like a big point. Like you're almost learning how to interact with the opposite sex,
Yeah.
And it's different for everyone. Some people like, I would never have been a good, person at talking with girls ever, I mean, like, and like, it seemed like all the girls that were always into me, I was not into them kind of thing. And the ones that ever I was into, like, weren't into me. It's kind of like you're always chasing what you don't, and all that kind of stuff, and it's different for everyone. And it's like almost like we just had like an immediate connection, like that, like right when we started like it wasn't forced. It wasn't, our relationship was forced. Like, we got to think of things to talk about. We immediately almost like we jived immediately. We didn't like have to feel like, I remember it was a little different when we first started like talking on the phone. We were never people like, as I was in college, you were in college, to talk on the phone with each other.
I know. We aren't now either. We get down and we hang up.
No, I want to talk to you, but you don't want to talk to me.
I guess I just want to get the facts and I'll see you at home.
What? I want to talk. I want to.
But you really don't.
You are such a different person on the phone. Sometimes you're just like, I know me, like you answer so nicely, and then sometimes you answer just.
You don't know what I'm going through at the time. Usually someone just pooped or threw up or something. And I'm like balancing babies and whatever. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'm doing other things, like 1,000 other things.
Well, I mean,
you're taking a walk on your lunch break, and
I could just tell something right now.
Go ahead.
Like even the last 2 mornings, I effed up so bad yesterday, and even this morning, I'm in a rush, in a hurry so much. And I remember the very first thing I said to her in the morning was like, I'm in a hurry. Like she was wanting to talk and share with me something, but I'm like rushing around, and I'm like, I'm in a hurry. And that's like the very first thing I said to her. She's woken up, and I immediately like, why did I just say that, And it's like, I screwed myself, I was like, and then you don't come back easily. If you get hurt or whatever, if I say something wrong, you're in that state for a while. You don't switch back. Like I can flip back.
I don't know how you do that.
I think I don't know. Why is it? To me, it's like, why can't you flip back? Why
I have been injured and feel like I really know how you feel. And if you say, oh, what were you going to say? I'm like, never mind. You're actually in a hurry. What you said was true the first time. And it's okay. Just carry on.
Mm-hmm. It's tough.
Don't come back I'm always like, don't do me any favors.
No, but like, I want to make up. Why can't we just make up? Like, why can't we just be happy?
Well, I am happy. I'm happy just carrying on.
No. Like, I'll say, are you really happy? Is everything okay? Yeah. It's like you say it when it's not true. Isn't that lying? Aren't we not supposed to do that? I guess, like, sometimes there's gray area, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes
to keep the peace.
No, there's no peace. There's no peace. Jessi. So couples and marriage, like anything, the differences and what we could tell people in a couple state that you're not married yet, and then people that are in marriage. Anything that stands out to you? You've lived both. You lived the part, both of them. What do you have to say?
I don't know. Just try to be nicer, like when you were dating.
Oh, you're talking to me?
No. Me.
Oh, you're talking to yourself?
About myself. Like, just act like you're dating still.
When you get married?
Yeah. You don't have to flip it and be like, all right, you're mine now.
Yeah, I don't think that we were like that at all. When we first got married, there was, like, even in the first week, there was like a very scary fear that came upon me. That like, really, there was like, it was like, I mean, I think that in any part of your new part of life, you're in something that's completely changed in your life, and you're not going back. It's this way, and it just feels weird. It feels awkward. It wasn't like bad, but it was like scary. It was
like, she's it.
No,
this is it.
It wasn't. No,
this is my life.
No, it wasn't that at all. It was just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just scary. It was like, it was new.
It was
like
you were responsible for me, or like just you gotta take care of me now and oh crap.
No, it was just like, it's new, and we're not, and nothing's. It's gonna be this way. Like, it wasn't even like that. I'm not happy with the way it is. It was just. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just scary. I just remember when we first moved in together, right when we got married, at our apartment, and just, it was just like the very like first week is like, it's just different, it's just like, oh my gosh, we're really in this, we're in it,
Yeah.
And
I mean, and to us, it is a forever thing. And it's
because
heavy.
I mean, even like when we first got married, like there's like, say our first week of marriage, or we'd been together like a couple of years, like, but like your first week of marriage, like how much more right now we know of each other than that.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like so different,
We are completely different people.
Even like even I can think of like times that we've lived since we moved to this house. I remember there was times that we've like, I was like, are we gonna make it kind of thing? You know, there's been a lot of like, but it's like, things are so bad and so terrible, you know, like, are we actually gonna make it? And it's only by God's grace that we were able to. I feel like, because it's like, if you don't have God or Jesus in your life, in your marriage, it's like, I don't think you have. How do people stay together that don't? And I think a lot of times they don't. A lot of times it's just, that is the normal thing. You can even live together 30, 40 years and people still, they'll keep it together while the kids are in the house. But once the kids are grown up, it's like, maybe fast forward to us like a couple years, like, or years when the kids start moving out, like, we're going to still go through crap. You know, we've gone through so much already. And it's like, we're not scot-free, you know, on our way, you know.
It's funny, like when my sister and I, when we left the house, you know, it's like, I don't know, it seems like my parents were like, oh crap, I got to like get to know you all over again, like each other. But then they got like almost even closer after we left, because they don't have to worry about us. Well, they worried about us, but you know, they don't have to take care of us as much, you know. It was like a weird empty nester time, you know.
Oh yeah, because you don't have that,
the buffer
that is keeping you together, you know. I immediately think of the movie Failure to Launch, you know, Kathy Bates and Terry Bradshaw, and then the Matthew McConaughey. It was the one that, like, once he moved out or whatever, there was that awkwardness. Like, she had to get to know him again, you know, kind of like what you said. And I just think of, even I'm gonna share like about like my mom, and talking about like, just sharing to you like talking to her, because she would be the one I would go to and tell like when we weren't right. And a lot of times you would go to my mom when we weren't right, you know, and talk through things. And I remember like her saying like, and I'm wondering if she's gonna be having me saying this, but like talking about her and dad, like, sometimes we want to slit each other's throats. Like, it's like, we're like almost at that point. Like, we're not, that's marriage. Sometimes you get that much fire. Like, and that's like for everybody. Like, we've got to the point, like, where like you physically hate me. Like, you, like, and you say that, you know, and I definitely have it as well. Like, but it's like, no matter what, we still always come together. And it's like, we all, and the only thing that is keeping us together is Jesus, you know? And that's all. And I think that's Christian marriage, you know. And I think there's beauty and glory in waiting till you're married to come together, because if you're just testing out, why, you know, buy the cow if you get the milk for free kind of thing, you know, like, you have nothing invested. You have nothing, like, you're not losing anything by just walking away. So it's like,
it is like, shows a lack of commitment, not like a trying to make sure we're committed later type thing. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we went through the love languages. That was good. We'll stop it there for right now. You have anything else?
Nope.
All right, Bonnie, you switch it over. We'll see you in just a bit.
Every part is feels